How do I get more kills, carry the game consistently, and most importantly to me, become the MVP of every single match? Well, I have some good news for you, because as someone who's actually studied over 100 hours of pro gameplay, there's some very consistent things that they all do. One of those things that every single pro player does as a DPS is follows up off of what their tanks do. They're always trying to finish their kills. The role of the tank is to try and create space for the team, but also create opportunities for the DPS to get in there just like this and clean up the enemies so they have an opportunity to try and push the back line. This is something I see at the mid-level all the time, and it's even something that I fell victim to for a very long time, is trying to start and finish my own fights all the time. I didn't care what the tanks were doing. I didn't care what my healers were. I didn't care what the other DPS was. I wanted to try and carry the game in the most difficult way possible. And this is one thing that you absolutely have to stop doing. And just really quickly, as we're continuing to get into it right here, I'm sure you've already noticed, but we're gonna be watching a one above all Psylocke by the name of 2018 Uzi. I'm gonna be honest, kind of a fire name, and even more so a fire player with how he plays off of his Thor. And also, when he gets himself presented in a situation like this, I will say a 1v1, which turned into a very quick 2v2. This is a huge thing as well too. Knowing when you're in over your head. If you're trying to be the MVP, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot consistently be dying trying to be the hero. The MVP, of course, on paper or on the stat sheet, it looks like the player who got the most kills or happened to do the most damage, they are the MVP. But unfortunately, you can't do either of those things if you are consistently dead. Right there, once again, falling very close to the Thor. We got the entire cavalry pushing everybody back right here and finishing up those kills, even getting the Star-Lord there too. Setting up once again. But notice he's waiting for an opportunity and then complimenting what is happening around him versus trying to force a situation. And that's going to be point number 2, I will say, and that is play the way that your team plays. Play around them. Do not try and force your will on your own team. You're one person with 5 other players who have their own game plan. If you notice that your team is playing very, very passively and you gotta sit back a little bit and you can't be in front of the tanks, then you have to do that. If you have somebody that's playing Thor, or they're playing, I'll even say Penny or even the Hulk, and they're playing super aggressive, then you can get in the mix and clean up those kills. But do not try to impose your own will on the entire lobby. It just does not work. But if you see players getting very low, holding onto those combos as well too, trying to push them back. You see Thor there on the right side for a second, getting down the Luna as well, also getting the Star-Lord too. Just so much teamwork happening. If you pay attention to the kill feed, you'll notice a lot of different names getting the kills, but every single time, 2018 Uzi is part of the fight. He's ensuring that no one's here going to their right side, I'll say the defense's left side, to go for the counter flank right here. He's staying on the left side here for us to ensure that nobody's wrapping around. We know the Star-Lord's there on the X-ray. We, as watching the replay, we can see this. Just wrapping around, doesn't know where anybody is here. Just trying to get behind. And notice, let's see what happens here. We're gonna be getting rid of the squid first. We have the Star-Lord going for the ult. Just try and go for whoever he possibly can as far as just getting damage, trying to keep himself safe and not get blown up by the Star-Lord, able to get the finish once again right there. Not being a hero, this is a super good example. He did not jump in when the Star-Lord was going for his ult and saying, I gotta do something, I have to keep my team alive. Instead he says, you know what? I'm gonna stay alive, and once he backs up, if he does not go down to somebody else, I'm gonna clean up that kill, and he was able to do that. Also going through the dagger as well too. Got Magneto basically by himself right here as this team is walking back. He's also going to fall. Guys, it's the team fights. I'm telling you right now, if you're trying to get more kills, this should be tattooed on your forehead. If you're trying to get more kills, be a part of more fights. It's that simple. If you're trying to get more kills, be a part of more fights. Do not try to isolate every single fight because you feel like you have the mechanical, God-given skills, and you might even have it. But at the highest level of play, like I'd mentioned, I've seen so many Eternity level players, one above all players, pro players who play in a cavalry, in a convoy with the rest of their team and say, you know what? I can have more value to the entire team because it's a team game. I can have more value if I stay alive, run with my tanks, and then also try to clean up these kills. Once again, unfortunately, right there going to go down, but I think it was the Luna was an absolute shambles for a second, able to get away, and they are going to actually cap the point here in overtime. Now pushing out once again, I really want you guys to pay attention to where 2018 Uzi actually goes. Does he push up by himself? Does he jump into the back line and pop his ult and have no escape plan and no cooldowns? Or is he trying to play off of his tanks? Is he wrapping here? As you see right here, Thor going in first, popping the ult after the commotion is actually created, pushing everybody back and actually getting a kill on the dagger. Gonna try and get the follow-up on the Thor. He is able to get that with the help of the Magneto. Going invisible and just resetting here for a second. He does have Snowflake. Try to get the burn down on the Namor as well too, or the Namor. And also on the Star-Lord, able to escape there. But notice, running in a pack. He did not use both of his dashes, jump in and say, I got somebody weak. Guys, follow up off of me. I'm dead. I'll be back in a second, but try to do something. Instead, playing very close to the Thor, playing up on height here. If Thor doesn't jump down, there's no reason to go down there by yourself. And that's the thing. A lot of players get a lot of tunnel vision. Say, there's so many players right there. I could just go crazy, get a 6-piece, make something incredible happen. And then you're walking back from the spawn, unfortunately. So playing very, very safe, playing as a team. And this is kind of a bonus tip as well too. I spoke about it a little bit as far as valuing your life, but like I mentioned, your life and you being alive is more important to your entire team than you getting one kill. Unless that one kill is a 1v1 for overtime, and if you get this kill, it's the game, it's not worth doing. Just jumping in, let's see what happens here as I say it. Just jumping in and dying for no reason is gonna be very, very rough. Also right here, just trying to get the kill. His entire team was already dead right there. Unfortunately, an ace. That's another one of those situations. Everybody's dead. I gotta do something. Unfortunately though, everyone falling and they're gonna have to reset. So pushing out here one more time. Let's see if they can get the stop. There's only 24 seconds left on the clock. If they can stop them right here, that would be fantastic. Also 2018 Uzi with the ult, getting another cleanup, pushing onto the healers. Let's see what happens. Magneto not bubbling anybody there, losing a healer, losing Magneto's life as well too. Everybody going down. That's basically going to be it right there. I think they got Star-Lord and Namor still touching. So let's see, here comes a 1v1 fight. Namor very weak, not much he can really do right there. It's gonna go down, and that's gonna be it for them on the defense. But now flipping sides, let's see how a pro player gets it done on offense. And so now here we are on offense, and I wanna pull up the scoreboard for a second here and take a look at 2018 Uzi. He has 27 kills, only 2 deaths, 17 final hits. And if you notice, a lot of players get this twisted. They will watch my videos and say, my gameplay looks like that. I play like a pro player. Why am I stuck in diamond? Why can't I hit GM? Or whatever it might be. And you guys, you gotta shoot yourself straight. You just have to and say, if you're getting as many kills as he is, are you getting them in the exact same way? Are you getting them against players of the caliber of the enemy team? Because if you're pushing against players who really are getting out of position and you're taking a lot of 1v1s, eventually, and I've talked about this in the past too, you will hit a wall. This is a team game. You will never ever win as a 1v6. Nobody in the world can do it. Even the best Hawkeye in the world cannot 1v6 for an entire game and be the hero of your own story. So what you have to do instead is play as a team. I'm gonna say it a million times. Try to stay safe to the best of your ability, as I say it right there. I think that was a Star-Lord in shambles, but actually going to get saved there for a second. And while all this is happening, notice that as a team player, he's actually top fragging. He's not going out of his way to say, I don't want anyone to steal my kills. I gotta ensure that I land all my own combos and make sure that everybody that I'm fighting against is isolated and they have no way to escape, or I don't wanna get any assists or anything like that. He's quite literally top fragging as a team player. So if there's nothing you take away, that's the most important thing for sure. Also gotta be careful here. Star-Lord pushing up, just popping his E, just trying to get a little bit more ult charge right there. Sitting at 69, I think 68. There goes the ult right there. I will say 2018 Uzi popping off right here, but I will say also getting the counter to come out from the Luna. Also, when you're playing as Psylocke or most DPS characters, your main goal realistically is to try to force out the enemy defensive ult so you have a chance to win off of raw skill. If they don't have their ults because somebody else happened to force them out earlier, oh, hold on a second, let's see what happens here. Gonna try and get the chase down. He's gonna get the 1v1. There's another one right there, kind of going crazy. I will say they had their backs turned, but hey, we take this either way. But hold on, guys, I don't have a chance. He's actually going crazy. So right there, that's a little bit different. I will say he kind of popped off a couple isolated fights right there, but he had opportunities, every single player, because of playing off of his team. They were either weak or running away, or they were busy in the middle of doing something. He had free beams on them for the most part. The Star-Lord was a little bit scary, but he happened to actually clean that up. But as I was saying, as far as using your ults, if you have the opportunity to actually pop your ult and get a couple of kills, then by all means. The other big thing too, I've noticed this very heavily, especially back in the Sparker video that I covered about maybe 2 weeks ago or so at this point, is that when they have their ult, high-level players, pro players, top players, whatever you want to call it, they do not hold on to it for the perfect time to say, if I pop my ult, it has to be the most incredible 6-piece of all time. They say, you know what, if I can get 1 kill and it helps the team, as a team player, it's worth doing. Instead of saying, you know what, I don't want to waste my ult getting only 1 person, potentially win because, I don't know, I got the healer and that's not good enough. I got to make sure I destroy the entire team. Oh my God, as I say it, kind of in shambles here. Can get the health pack though, good play. Also breaking the ankles while invisible. It's the Star-Lord flying, potentially dying, getting stuck on the wall. I do love that play. That's a good heads up play right there, I will say. Hitting the wall right there on the Clintar map, closing him off from his team and healing the potential of actually escaping the situation and then getting the kill. In behind, gonna get a little bit of damage on the Luna first before popping the ult. Going to get a kill on the Magneto, which is kind of strange, I will say. They had the Luna in there, unfortunately going to go down. The team in a pretty good spot right there. This is the Luna ult also popping right there to try and counter against the Thor ult popping. But we are going to be walking out here once again. Notice, very good heals coming out as well too. Of course, if your team is not playing as a team, it makes things very difficult, but that kind of goes back to my second point I made very early on, saying play around your team. If you have a Jeff and an Adam on your team and you want to die on the outside and the inside, you still have to play close to them and ensure that they have the ability to heal you. If they're straight up not healing, then unfortunately welcome to Diamond. But if they are healing and you're running into Narnia every single time and then dying for no reason, it's your fault. You gotta play as a team player and get those kills, stay alive, and contribute. And right here after the reset, just pushing up one more time, I think we're sitting at 34 kills, 24 final hits, so absolutely has been in the mix. I'll say another big thing too for a fast mobile character like Psylocke, or even if you play Star-Lord, is not flanking too much. Notice a lot of frontline DPSing and only flanking to try and counter flank like this, or if he has his ult and has the ability to try and take somebody down in the backline right here. Once again, trying to shut down the Star-Lord. Gotta be very careful, just dipping away. Has his ult, already getting counter ult, and just like that, unfortunately, Star-Lord still blasting from the heavens with a pixel of health, able to take out 2018 Uzi, and he's gonna have to reset one more time. And it's so incredibly unfortunate. I will say that when a situation like that happens, even at the highest level, you have your ult, you're about to do something crazy, get some kills, potentially win the game right there, and then you die out of your ult with 0 value and lose the point. It's very, very painful to have that situation happen, but I will say you kind of have to treat it like a quarterback of a football team and say, you know what, short memory, doesn't matter. Unfortunately, it happened, but it's part of the game. It could have happened to them. As far as I'm concerned, it has happened to them. So guys, have a straight face, move forward and say, you know what, we're gonna try to continue on and fight without letting it ruin our mental and say, oh, I'm the worst player ever, I just sold the game, and then your aim starts to get sloppy, you start to mix up your play style, or for whatever reason, you stop trusting yourself and things just fall apart. We're right here towards the end, only 40 seconds left. Still gotta try and keep a very straight head on our shoulders right here. Stay focused on the task at hand. Just behind the entire team right here, kind of getting ignored for a second, just for a very brief second, I will say, trying to get the ult charge, going to take down the Luna, which is huge. Also having the hella popping off, Groot popping his ult and also dying, going to be solidifying the point, pushing everybody back, and once again, a huge team fight. This could be the game right here. Star-Lord trying to make it past, but I don't think he's going to be able to get there in time. And just like that, that is gonna be the game in a 2-1 fashion. And guys, just like that, 2018 Uzi is gonna be the MVP of the game with 39 kills and only 5 deaths. But the context is what's most important. That's what I want to take away the most for you guys here, is that he didn't do it by trying to be the hero of his own story. He valued his life more than trying to get 1 or 2 kills and then dying consistently. And I'm sure you've had those games. Sometimes you get focused and that happens. I've had it happen to myself as well too. But I'm sure you've had those games where you're getting your 30 kills, possibly even almost getting 40 kills, but you've died 17 times, maybe even 20 times. And honestly, the team is not winning because of you in situations like that. They might even be winning despite of you. But if you play as a team player just like he did, the picks that he was getting, the accuracy, and some of the kills he got were genuinely layups. The Luna that was running away and the Namor that was running away towards the health pack on the first point right there, those were very free kills, but it's because he was not on the other side of the world trying to set up his own fights and isolating everything and making the game way harder than it has to be. But guys, with that is going to be it for the video. If you enjoy videos like this and you want to see more of them in the future, please be sure to subscribe to the channel as I'm dropping videos on pro players and giving tips like this daily. And once again, this is MOS Trick saying thanks for watching the video and have a great rest of your day.